Hey guys, let's start looking at the Tink script. So this is from Act 1. I am on page 2 of the gloss script that I sent you. And we start with Smee saying hello. So it's just going to be a hello. And then Wendy says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for our intrusion. We are somewhat early. And we're going to be like, hello, 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 welcome. We're sorry to bother you. We two, wherever Smee is, you're going to that direction. We two are early. And notice for early, this is my left hand, and I'm touching it and going across. Early. We two are early. And Smee says, true. Me, I'm in the play later, right? So this is an L going forward to the future, later. But let me explain. The fairy, and this is an F. This is an F flying around. The fairy can't understand. Okay? And then Wendy's going to point out, that's the fairy. You all know, right? And then Smee says, you did, right? It was on the poster outside. You know, right? You saw the poster. Just point to something. We're going to see if they're doing a poster, if it's like the program or something, so that might change. And then she's going to be like, you all believe in fairies, right? That's Wendy. You all touch your head and then clasp it. Believe in fairies. And then, oh, you should, you know. You need to. You need to. And then Wendy says, you really should. You truly need to, right? True need. And Smee says, because they believe in you. Fairies, this is that F flying around. Fairies believe in all of you. Okay. Tinkerbell, we're going to skip. And then we get to moving forward. Tinkerbell talks for a long time. That's why I'm signing her, because she talks forever. And then Peter comes on board and says, hello. And Tink responds, hello. Peter says hello again. There's a lot of hello from Peter. Hello, hello, hello. And Tink says, are you speaking to me? And he goes, indeed I am, yes. And Tinkerbell says, are you a fairy, a large fairy? You big fairy? And he says, no, I'm a boy, a small boy. Tinkerbell and then Peter, I can see you and hear you and understand you. I can see you and understand you. We're going to skip the here. I can see you and I can understand you. And then Peter says, yes, yes. And then Peter tells her, you're very small to be a lady. Lady, you? Small, right? And then he goes, oh, a real fairy? A real fairy? True fairy. And Peter says, why not? We're just going to sign the Y. Why? Touch your forehead and come out to the Y. Peter says, parents, mom and dad? Just mom, dad. We're not going to do the P for parents, just mom and dad. And then Peter says, I don't know, in the nursery maybe. So I don't know. And then home maybe for nursery. And then he says, I don't know, will they? I don't know, maybe for will they? And then Peter says, no, all parents do is make plans. No, mom and dad just make plans, just plan things, right? And then we have, let's see, that's Tinkerbell talking and talking. And then Peter says, I don't want. So this is like where you're on the knot and you do a want, but you throw it away. I don't want a future. I want to be a little boy forever. And he goes, where do you live? Right? So you, where live? Right? I'm trying to get this so you can see me. You, where live? And she says an island. And he says, oh, I want to see it. And Tinkerbell talks. And then Peter says, I'm never going home. My mom and my dad were planning my future. Mom and dad planning future. Or you can just do planning even. You don't have to do the future part. He says, no. And then he says, it isn't done. Can't. He says, so I ran away, and now I'm going to be a little boy forever on your island. So I ran away, and now ran away, and now I'm going to your island. So the sign for island, this is an English sign, left hand like it's a rock, and then an island, the I goes over it. But we need a sign for islands. I figured we'd use the English sign. Ran away, going to your island, continue, little boy, forever. Peter, it's possible you will not get all of that in, and we will shorten that, and that's fine. And then Peter says, I'm sure there was a time before any fairies lived on the island. A long time ago, no fairies, right? We're doing the nothing for no there, not the no, but no fairies, nothing fairies. Maybe, oh, sorry, that's me. Maybe I don't remember. And then Peter says, I can be your friend, right? You can, yes, if you tell me what friend means. Okay, so yes, if, tell me, friend means. And then, oh, that sounds complicated, hard, right? Tinkerbell says, yes, any more than that, it would get too confusing. Sorry, he says, really, true. True is really. And then Peter says, oh, I see what you mean. And wherever I have yeah in the script, it's to use this Y sign, which is sort of like a that. But this is something you see deaf people use a lot. Yeah. And we're going to use it. Yes, we're going to succeed. Okay. And then Peter says, I don't know. It felt good. And then when you crow, because you're going to have to do the crow, cock-a-doodle-doo, just do a rooster. So that's a 3-hand right there. Rooster, cock-a-doodle-doo, and just show it. Just pantomime it. All right, let's go to your island. There's that I again, island. If somebody has a better sign for island, I'm open to it, but that's the English sign that I know for island. Peter says, wonderful, where? And then Peter says, my name is Peter Pan. And she signs Tinkerbell, and he says, nice to meet you. Now for Peter Pan, we're going to use for a name sign Peter Pan. Unless we want to do Peter Pan for flying, but I think we can just do the P doubled, Peter Pan. And then Tinkerbell, we're just going to sign fairy for Tinkerbell. Nice to meet you. Boat, where's your boat? Boat is where? And he says, I don't know if I can fly. I can't fly, right? And Tinkerbell says, it's all right, I'll help. And he goes, oh, I'm flying. So you want to show it on your face? Ah, I'm flying. It's happening. And then Smee comes in. This is page 8. It says, oh, hello again. Hello. And Wendy comes in and says, oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is that blocking, that interrupting again. But we have some information that you need. So take it from your head and it goes out. I have some information that you need. Expository, we calls it. So this is 2 open F's, kind of a 9 that goes back and forth. Explain. Expository, we calls it. And then Wendy says, then we can get back to the play. Then we'll do the play again. So then play again. And Smee says, you see, fairies are small. Fairies? Small. And Wendy says, they know that. And then Smee says, but I mean really small. Small. Just show it really, really small. Get it tiny. Minuscule, one might say. Meaning that with big things like feelings, there's only room for one at a time. Means big things like feelings, only one can. So big things, feelings, only one can. Okay. And then Smee says, the fun line, Smee, I'm sorry. You know, bittersweet, happy, sad, mixed feelings can't. You know, bittersweet, happy, sad, mixed feelings can't. Okay. And then Wendy says, so when fairies feel happy, they are just happy. Fairies happy, truly happy. And then Smee says, they are just only happy. And then Wendy says, when they feel sad, truly sad. And Smee says, yeah, they're only sad. And Wendy says, when they are bored, they are only bored. And Smee goes, bored? Meh. If Tinkerbell do too much, remember that fairy And then Wendy says, they can't help it. They can't stop. And Smee says, it's geometric. So it's math. It's math. And Wendy says, I think you mean genetic, generational or hereditary. And he goes, I've heard it both ways. It doesn't matter. End of video 1.